Yes?
Is this the Scorpio residence?
It is.
I'd like to see Robert.
He's not here, Miss...
Just tell Robbie the Connie is here. He'll see me. Are you the secretary, dear?
No, I'm not. And as I said before, he's not here.
I see. Well, you're not the maid, are you?
Hardly.
Just a friend, is that it, dear?
No, that's not it. I happen to be his wife.
Where are you going?
Now, you've defied me, and I'm here to stop you.
What are you talking about?
You know damn well what I'm talking about. You started demolition of Ruby Anderson's old apartment building this morning, and I'm telling you to stop as of right now. Now, there will be no further destruction until your mob connections are totally severed. Get on the phone and order the work stopped.
Make me.
Robbie is married. To you.
Yes.
Well, then, for what it's worth, I apologize. I didn't mean to barge in like that before. It's just that I know Robbie's habits.
You do?
Oh, very well. He had a desk job at one time. He was a fanatic about keeping himself insulated. The same as when he was an agent in the field. No one could get through to him.
Apparently you knew Robert when he was with the World Security Bureau.
I did.
I don't believe I know your last name.
Townley, but Connie will do. Will you please have Robbie call me?
How does he do that?
Tell him that I'm just passing through town, and I'm staying at the Harbor Towers.
May I also tell him if this is business or pleasure?
Both. Naturally, I want to see Robbie for old time's sake.
Naturally.
Oh, and will you also tell him it is very important that I talk to him as soon as possible?
I always make sure Robert gets all of his messages.
Good Lord, I can't believe that Robbie is married. I'm sorry, but it's the last thing on earth I expected to hear.
It's quite true.
Then I wish you all the best. Oh, and ask him to call me as soon as possible.
Have I made myself clear? Watch my lips. The demolition will stop now.
All right, if you're through spouting off, Commissioner, I want you to understand something. A, legal building permits were obtained from the city building department to destroy that building. B, legitimate bids were given and taken and accepted, all right? And C, there are jobs and there are men working at those jobs and they're being paid under a contract.
A, B, C, and D. You still control the work. You can order it stopped.
Why? What for? You're just going to create a hazardous situation down there. The building is half destroyed. It's going to be dangerous down there.
Then you just build a nice little plywood fence around it. Suitably signposted, of course. Then you and your pal Han can sit in there and play jacks with the rubber.
You must be dreaming, Scorpio. I'm not breaking any laws. In fact, I am working within the law here, all right? Or do you doubt that these are legal permits?
Legal or not, I'll have you shut down by noon.
Yeah, how you gonna do that?
I'll go straight from here to the mayor. Any current permits you've got, I'll have them revoked. Any new ones you've applied for, I'll have them denied. Have a good day.
I heard.
Yeah, well, that figures.
You think he'll be able to stop you?
Yeah, I do, and I think he just might.
Come in, Robert.
Thank you, Bob.
Please,
Glad you
sit
could
down.
spare the time.
Well, I was anxious to. I've been reading the transcripts of the Susan Baldwin murder case, of course, in the newspapers as well. I was really eager to get your summary of it.
Well, what you've read is accurate. Crane Tolliver and Susan Baldwin cooked up some sort of extortion plot against the Quartermains.
For what reason?
Reasons unknown. For some reason that there was a falling out between the two of them. Crane shot Susan before the actual trump card was revealed to the Quartermains.
Well, and that wraps it up?
As far as the police department's concerned, the case is closed.
Well, that's fine with me if it's fine with you. Now, what can I do for you? I know you well enough to know this isn't a social visit.
Yeah. It's about the waterfront redevelopment project. Now, as you know, Scott Baldwin is deeply involved in it.
I was aware of that.
Are you also aware of the fact that there is a strong connection between Scott Baldwin and Anthony Hand?
Are you sure of that? Anthony Hand is an out-and-out mobster.
I've seen proof that Scotty and Hand are running the redevelopment project themselves, or at least fronting mob money behind it.
Well, when you say proof?
Contracts linking them financially.
I've always felt that Hand was reporting to someone higher up in the criminal hierarchy.
You should also be aware that when the development project becomes operational, money from the concessions will flow directly to Hand and the people he works for.
Well, now, that could mean that the mob is behind the actual construction of the development.
Right. And now they're also behind the current demolition that's going on.
When I agreed to the demolition of the sports center, it was with the express stipulation that a new one be erected.
Oh, which it will, but again, it'll have mob backing.
We can't allow that.
I agree, and that's precisely the reason I'm here. Step by step, they're operating with city permits, including the one that you approved of for the current demolition.
Permits can be revoked, Robert.
You willing to do that?
Well, in light of what you said, I'm not only willing, I insist on it.
Including the permit for the demolition going on right now?
Well, certainly, if we're going to stop this thing, we have to nip it in the bud right now, and that includes the entire operation.
Do you want proof of the connection between Baldwin and the criminal element involved?
Well, not as long as you tell me it exists. Robert, I don't mind saying that's exactly why I was so eager for you to become police commissioner, to ferret out these skeletons in the closet like you've done in this matter. I'm really grateful to you.
Just trying to do the job.
Well, you're doing the job very good. Now, I suggest you and I go right down to the building department. We're going to shut Baldwin down as of now. We won't allow any other permits to be issued for any work until you can assure me that Baldwin and his connection with the mobsters is finished once and for all.
Hi, love. Just came from Mayor Everett's office. He's promised to do everything he can to help me shut down Scotty.
Good.
When the man decides to act, he doesn't fool about. Any messages?
Captain Ramsey called to say he's on his way to his appointment with you.
Fine.
And Connie was here.
Who?
Just tell Robbie Connie was here. End quote.
Connie? Connie? You can't mean Connie Townley.
She's at the Harbour Towers.
Are you sure you got the name right here? Constance Townley is in Port Charles.
Very much so. You're to call her at the Harbour Towers.
I'm amazed.
So was she when she found out you were married.
Oh, yeah, she would be.
Actually, I would say stunned was probably a better word for her reaction.
Well, I can explain that.
Don't. Please, there's no need.
Look, but Connie and I just simply worked together.
Right, for the WSB.
Yeah, naturally, of course, we became close friends.
Yes, naturally.
Why are you smiling like that?
Oh, was I smiling? I didn't notice. You're doing something that I've never seen you do before.
What?
You're blushing.
That is ridiculous. I have never blushed in my life, and why would I start blushing now?
I have no idea. But your red face is very becoming.
Look, Holly, I want to explain here about... What do you mean, don't? I mean, it's nothing dire.
What I mean is, our marriage is in name only. That arrangement eliminates the need to explain anyone.
Oh, hello, Holly. Nice to see you.
Come on in, Robert just got here.
Commissioner, how are you?
Hiya, Bert.
I'm sorry to bother you like this, but I really want to wrap up a final report on the Susan Baldwin case.
Oh, it's fine. As a matter of fact, I spoke to the mayor today, and he read the preliminary report, and I told him we were closing the case.
Good.
Shall I get that?
Yeah, please.
Now, look, I've made some notes, and if you'll look them over with me, if you okay them, I guess that'll wrap the whole thing up.
Sounds good.
Hello?
Rather simple.
Just one moment, please.
On this point here, now...
But if you just take it from the way I...
Excuse me?
Yeah.
The phone. It's for you, Robbie.
I have someone here, Connie.
I know. I met her. She's a knockout.
I meant the captain of the Port Charles Police Department.
I might have known you'd be involved with the police.
I am involved. Quite heavily, in fact.
Really? All the more reason that I must see you, Robbie. How soon?
Oh, let me think.
Don't think. Just name a time and place. It's very important.
All right. There's a restaurant called Dino's. It's quite near you. Now, I'll meet you there in an hour.
Dino's in an hour. Got it.
We can talk business there, all right?
Talk business? Oh, yes, of course. Among other things. Don't be late.
1 hour. I'm sorry, that was business.
Really?
Well, now, if we can go over these notes, you'll see that there aren't many unresolved areas.
Right.
Would you excuse me? I'll be in the kitchen.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure. Now, I can anticipate one of the unresolved areas was here, Bert. I spoke to the mayor this morning, and he asked me if we knew why Crane and Susan were blackmailing the Quartermains.
Well, we don't even mention that in our report, and for a very obvious reason. We just don't know.
Precisely. Now, that's exactly what I told him. No one knew why the Quartermains were the victims of an attempted extortion, and as far as we're concerned, we may never know.
It's not pertinent, is that it?
Well, it's not pertinent to closing the books on this particular case. As far as the police department is concerned, the case is over.
But, Robert, what if some reporter brings up those papers?
That won't happen, because no one knows they exist.
Yeah, but we do.
Unofficially, but officially, they don't exist. So let's just forget about them. Agreed?
All right, all right. If somebody doesn't bring it up in the future.
If and when that happens, it's the Quartermain's problem, not ours.
Oh, so our stand is it's their problem, let them handle it.
As long as there's no crime involved, I think that's appropriate.
Okay. Look, you haven't had time to look these over, but if you'll take my word for it, believe me, it's everything we've discussed.
Sure.
Okay? Okay. Fine, I'll be on my way. Thanks a lot for your time. Sorry to bother you.
Well, thanks for dropping by.
Oh, pleasure. I must say, Holly looks lovely.
I'll tell her that.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye now. Holly.
Ramsey left?
Yes, just a second ago. Look, I have to leave too.
I heard.
Heard what?
You on the phone. Dino's, wasn't it?
Well, I'll try not to be very long.
Robert, would you please try to get something straight? You don't have to explain your activities to me, and you certainly don't have to rush through a meeting with an old friend.
But look...
And you don't have to pretend that it's business.
It is business.
It really doesn't matter.
Look, it does matter. And you're right about Connie. We are friends, but simply because we work together.
Good.
And this is business all the same.
Really?
Really. And Connie is still with the World Security Bureau. As a matter of fact, she's one of their finest agents. Now, I could swear that you are a person I once knew. I think it was TR-733.
And you look vaguely like someone I used to know. CK8.
Small world.
Nice world.
You look better than ever.
No, before you sit down.
Yeah?
Don't I get kissed for old time's sake? Discreetly, of course, considering you are a married man.
Discreet enough?
Positively Victorian.
I couldn't believe it when I heard that you were in town.
You couldn't believe it. Now, how do you think I felt when I was told that you were married? You, of all the people.
Yeah, well, it's a long story. What are you doing here in Port Charles?
Oh, just passing through.
Come on, partner. I know you better than that.
Partner. How many times have we called each other that? And you're right, of course. I do have some business to take care of, too.
I'd have bet on it. Come on, now, what's going down?
I can't stop staring at you. You haven't changed a bit. You know, I almost forgot how handsome you are.
There was a time in Hong Kong. It was one night. You swore you'd never forget.
I haven't. And it was in Venice. In a very shaky gondola on the Grand Canal.
I remember a night in Cairo you had this fetish for looking at the pyramids under moonlight.
That was India, dear. And it wasn't the pyramids, it was the Taj Mahal.
We've had some great times, love.
And some rough ones. I was in Paris when I learned about O'Reilly. I'm sorry, you must have been absolutely devastated.
Yeah, I was. I lost the 3 people in this world that I cared for the most. O'Reilly, a pal of mine called Luke Spencer, his wife, Laura.
Don't you love your own wife? Never mind. I don't think I want to hear the answer to that one. Hey, you haven't lost me, you know. Never will.
There was a time in Istanbul. I came close. You almost boarded from the KGB.
But we outsmarted them.
Yeah.
Connie Atkin and her friend.
Was that the name you used on that assignment?
Lord, how quickly they forget. I was Connie Atkin, and you were Robert Skinner.
It's been fun, hasn't it?
It's been a ball. Remember Marrakesh?
Vividly. And Capri.
And Osaka.
Amsterdam.
Rio and Munich.
It rained.
Not on us, it didn't.
No. Never on us. What are you doing here?
You could always do that, couldn't you? Bring me down to earth at exactly the wrong moment.
There was a time when I could also bring you right back up again, too.
What makes you think that you can't now? Why, I'm here. I understand that you've got some great equipment.
You always could flatter me.
I'm talking about your computer. I understand it's tied in with the WSB, isn't it?
You know it is.
I may want to use it.
Feed information or search?
Both. Chiefly, I'll be feeding it what I learn.
Here in Port Charles. You never tell me about it.
Not just yet.
But you are conducting some sort of investigation.
Yeah, I am. But at this point, we're not certain what we're investigating. I'm sorry, but I can't be more explicit.
It's quite all right. I'm up to here as a police commissioner in this borough.
But I can call you.
You know you can. Anytime. I run a 24-hour service.
I remember. Robbie, I'm sorry, but I have just got to say it. Do you mind?
Have I ever? Say it.
You are the last person on Earth that I ever would have expected to be married.
Me too.
That was fast.
Well, she's going to be around here for a while. I might see her again.
Only might?
Holly, I think I had better explain about Connie and myself.
There's no need to. It's obvious the two of you had something going.
That's what I'd like to talk about.
Robert, I do expect you to see other women just like you did before we were married.
That wouldn't disturb you.
Of course not.
Be sure about this, Holly. It's very important. Suppose I decided to spend the night away from here.
So?
I'd be discreet, of course, and I promise I'd do nothing to embarrass you.
I know that.
You'd have no objection.
Robert, none. Thank you for being considerate, but I assure you that your private life is your own.
You're really terrific, you know that?
Well, I know I'm fair. At least I try to be. Excuse me.
Yes, I'd like to leave a message for Miss Constance Townley. Tell her that... Tell her Robert Skinner would very much enjoy seeing her again. As soon as possible.